charge for the very first time. Group K also includes Serbia, Latvia and Andorra. It's one of 12 groups across Europe, with each of the group winners qualifying for next year's World Cup finals. The remaining 4 places are determined by playoffs involving the 12 group runners-up. Well, the atmosphere ramping up by the minute at Wembley Stadium for England. A new beginning after going close under Gareth Southgate with 2 appearances in the Euro final, the last 2 Euro finals, 4th place at the World Cup in Russia in 2018 and quarter-finalists in Qatar last time back in the latter stages of 2022. Can they take that final step? Well, that's what Thomas Tuchel is here for. That's why the FA have appointed him, to try to get them to the USA and then to go all the way, if possible, at next year's World Cup. One little side note: each of the last 10 permanent England managers have won their first game in charge since Bobby Robson had to settle for a 1-1 draw with Denmark back in 1982. The only permanent England manager to lose their first game, Sir Alf Ramsey in 1963 against France, and as we all know, it worked out pretty well for him and England, didn't it, in 1966. This is the first of a double header of games for both nations at the start of this qualification campaign. England are at home again on Monday. They're hosting Latvia, and Albania are at home as well against Andorra. Well, they'll be looking to bank some points. Thousands of Albanian fans inside Wembley Stadium, as you can see. Just over 5,500, the official allocation. But a great many Albanian people live in London and around the UK, and they've been desperate to get hold of tickets, so there will be thousands of Albanian fans around the stadium for this one. Albania played at last summer's Euro. They've made it to 2 of the last 3 Euro finals. They were narrowly beaten by Italy 2-1, and by the eventual winners Spain only by a goal to nil. They did manage a point from a really tough group, actually, from a 2-2 draw against Croatia. Interestingly, Albania have started well in recent World Cup campaigns as well, winning their opening match in the last 3 sets of qualifiers. They're unbeaten in the opening qualifier in each of the last 5 World Cup campaigns. There they are. Nasser Ali is the only home-based starter in tonight's 11. 3 of their starting 11 have played in the Champions League this season. There's plenty of experience in Albania's side from across Europe and, in fact, around the world, with a couple of players based in the USA and in China. And as I've just mentioned, they won't lack for plenty of support tonight as well. Just waiting for England to appear. Thomas Tuchel's first starting 11 on what he hopes will be the road to the USA. There's the captain, Harry Kane, who, since he made his first appearance in a FIFA World Cup qualifier, which was a while ago now, in September of 2016, only Robert Lewandowski and Cristiano Ronaldo have scored more qualifying goals among European players than he. He scored 14 goals in 17 qualifiers. Third in line, the tall figure of Dan Burn for England. What a night for him, what a week he has had back at Wembley Stadium, just a few days on from Newcastle United's victorious Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, in which he scored one of the goals. This his first England call-up and a debut tonight as well. The road to the next World Cup starts here, and for England, a new chapter under Thomas Tuchel, who takes charge of the 3 Lions for the first time, as they try to turn near misses under Gareth Southgate into something more in America. Those finals will come around soon enough, only 15 months away now. England, strong favourites to win this group, but Albania have qualified for 2 of the last 3 Euros, and they hope that they can finally make it onto the World Cup stage at the 14th attempt. Won 2 out of 3 on the road in the Nations League this season, 2-1 against Ukraine and 1-0 over Georgia. It's a daunting task for tonight's visitors. England unbeaten in their last 31 World Cup qualifiers. It's the longest ongoing run of any European nation, and they've won all 6 previous encounters. Let's take a look at the lineups. Thomas Tuchel gives debuts to 18-year-old left-back Miles Lewis-Skelly and Dan Burn, who plays alongside him in central defence. There's a place too for Marcus Rashford after a year out of the squad. Curtis Jones wins his 3rd cap and starts for the 3rd game running. Harry Kane captains the side and has scored 32 goals for Bayern Munich already this season. Tonight's match officials are from Spain. Alejandro Hernandez referees the match. He's the man in the middle there and took charge of the Fenerbahce Rangers first leg in the Europa League round of 16 earlier this month. Cesar Sotogrado is on VAR duty. Silvinho names an experienced lineup for Albania. They're captained by Berat Jimsiti, a Europa League winner with Atalanta last season. He's played in the Champions League this season, as has Christian Aslani with Inter and Chazin Laci of Sparta Prague. Mirto Uzuni has just moved to Austin in the MLS from Granada in Spain, and Nedim Bayrami is a Europa League quarter-finalist with Rangers. What a night for Miles Lewis-Skelly of Arsenal. What a season it has been. He only made his first team debut for them back in September. And here he is now at 18 in the starting 11 for England. Players will gather around the centre circle now. Prior to kick-off, we will have a moment of applause to remember George Eastham, a member of England's 1966 World Cup winning squad who's passed away. England's players will also wear black armbands. Saw Sir Geoff Hurst there in the crowd, applauding his former colleague, Sir Geoff Hurst, who scored the hat-trick in the 1966 World Cup final. Well, this World Cup campaign for these two nations about to get underway. It is Albania who will kick off at Wembley in North London. Full start there by Harry Kane and by Jude Bellingham. And at the second attempt we're underway. New chapter for England under Thomas Tuchel. Feverish atmosphere inside Wembley for this one. Great expectation, a lot of interest in the starting 11 that England's new head coach would go for. No surprise to see that he wasn't singing the national anthem. He'd already flagged that up, that he felt that for the time being it was something that he would leave, and felt that he needed to earn the right to do that. So maybe at some point in the future it's England's ball, and Jordan Pickford has got it. 74th cap for Pickford. Played every minute at the last two World Cups and the last two Euro. In goal for England, ball up towards Bellingham, the header on by Kane, the flick there from Bellingham, Foden trying to just sneak in behind Lacci, as England look to make a fast start. Kyle Walker with the throw. Walker of Milan as it is now, on loan for the second half of the season from Manchester City. And a first touch in international football for Dan Burn. What a night for him, what a week it's been. Back on the Wembley pitch where he scored for Newcastle in their Carabao Cup victory over Liverpool. That first trophy, domestic trophy in 70 years for Newcastle United. And a first touch for Lewis Skelly as well, the Arsenal left back. England just settling in. Rice has got Curtis Jones alongside him in the heart of the England midfield today. And he's got Uzuni for company at the moment. Back with Esri Konsa. 10th cap for the Aston Villa defender this evening. And taking the opportunity to settle in. Here's Jones. And now Lewis Skelly. Wait for the two debutants to get a few early touches of the ball to help settle those nerves. Bit of space for Jones. Foden over on the far side. Bellingham pushed well up in behind Kane at the moment. There's Jude Bellingham. England certainly stringing the passes together here in the opening couple of minutes. Konsa. Jones keeping his place in the England team. He'd sort of come to the fore in November in the last couple of matches under Lee Carsley. Lee Carsley, who done a really good job holding the fort during the autumn in the Nations League campaign, introducing a few new faces as well along the way. Of course, with that vast experience with the under-21s. Lewis Skelly closed down, just skips away from Asani. And now Foden. Touch back in an England shirt for Marcus Rashford as well. Played against Brazil this time last year, 15 minutes in that game. Hasn't been in the squad since, until this one. Not involved in the Euro last summer at all, Rashford, and a career revitalised by a loan spell at Aston Villa from Manchester United over the last couple of months. Here he is now. Jones, closed down rapidly by Chazim Lachi. Pressure on Ali over on the far side. The opening 4 minutes almost entirely in Albania's half of the field, but not in Albania's penalty area at all yet. Konsa looks to change that, trying to pick out the run of Jude Bellingham, and very nearly found him. Almost an early opening for the hosts. Yeti gets it away. Ball bouncing beyond Uzuni. There's Bellingham under pressure, trying to play Rashford in. Tidied up by Ramadan. Ball just bounces away from Declan Rice, but Albania struggling to keep hold of the ball. Here's Kane, who scored a hat-trick the last time Albania were in town. It was in the last qualification process ahead of Qatar. These two nations were in the same group. England 5-0 winners at home and 2-0 winners away. Albania with just one goal in total in 6 previous matches against England over the years. Here's Rice. Bit of space for Rashford. Skelly nearby and Bellingham. Bellingham's going to have a little run here towards the Albania defence. Foden's been waiting patiently. Walker well forward on the far side. Curtis Jones has it. Walker rather hoping for a free kick, but it's a throw for Albania. There's Silvino, their head coach, took over just over 2 years ago in January of 2023, guided them to the Euro in Germany last summer. Also spent some of his playing career in England. He used to play for Arsenal, had a spell at Manchester City as well, as Kane sniffs around and Jim City gets it away. Collected by Byrne. Gets the call up for England at the age of 32. So I wasn't sure whether the call was a bit of a wind-up at first. But here he is now, looking for Foden on the far side. Nasser Ali will take the throw-in. He's the one player in Albania's starting 11 tonight who is based in their first tier domestically. Pretty experienced, having made his international debut 10 years ago. Jones. Now Rice. Here's Bellingham. Walker again getting well forward, and was just a step or two in front of that pass as Jim City sends it long in the general direction of Mirto Ozuni. A controlled and patient start, I think it's fair to say, from England here. Rice. Rice in towards Foden. Ali with the header away, bit of pressure on Tomas Strakosha. Clears. Lewis Skelly should have this one covered. Closed down rapidly and fouled by Yasir Hassani. Rather clumsily collides with the England fullback. Third England start of the current season for Ezri Konsa. A couple of starts in the Nations League earlier in the campaign. Burn. Lewis Skelly. There could be an opening on the left-hand side of England's defence if he takes this opportunity. Here's Bellingham. Lovely play by Jude Bellingham into Marcus Rashford, and the return not quite coming off on this occasion. Albania, as you'd expect, have got a good structure, disciplined side. They've got some good players. Won't be that easy to break down. Remember, they were only beaten by 1-0 against Spain, the eventual winners at the Euro. 2-1 they lost to Italy. Got a draw against Croatia. Another searching pass there from Konsa. Here's Rashford, little combination into Rice. Walker being put under pressure by Nedim Bayrami. Bellingham keeps the ball away from Laci. Back with Ezri Konsa. Burn. Interception made before it could reach Kane. This is Laci. And Strakosha, who's with Ike Athens these days, but only moved there last summer. Previous to that, he was at Brentford in West London in the Premier League. Didn't really settle in England. Here's Kane, though, looking for the run made by Rashford. Gets in ahead of Ballieu. Jones. Foden now up against Ali. Pushed back by Asllani as well, the number 8. Outmanoeuvred by England's midfield. Here's Jones. Plenty of white shirts in the vicinity of Albania's penalty area. Foden in towards Curtis Jones, held up by Jim City. Lovely play though by the England midfielder. And good work by Phil Foden as well there. A lovely piece of skill from Curtis Jones as he headed down to the byline there. Didn't have a lot of room for manoeuvre, but managed to just squeeze it past Asllani. Scored on his debut against Greece in November in the 3-0 win away from home. And also started against the Republic of Ireland. That was England's last match before tonight. 5-0 winners back in November. Declan Rice back in England's team tonight. Missed those games in November with a broken toe. Concert. Pressure on England's players in possession here. Concert with plenty of time to try and pick a pass as he aims for Kyle Walker, and Albania's defence under a bit of pressure there as it's scooped away up towards Zuni. Byrne tidies up, and Miles Lewis-Skelly keeping it in play. Rashford dropping a bit deeper now. How about that for a pass? Brilliant to Foden. Comfortable header away by Ayeti. Rice just hesitated for that fraction of a second. 15 minutes in, and England and Albania without an effort on goal between them so far. England with 87% of the play. They've made over 200 passes in the opening quarter of an hour, but nothing to trouble Thomas Strakosha so far. Byrne. Miles Lewis-Skelly getting well forward. This is Rashford. Ezri Konsa. Now with Byrne. Into Bellingham. Trying to get away from Lachi and from Ramadan. Rashford, brilliantly done past Asani. Bellingham's in there. Rashford collects. Here's Kane, and still couldn't quite get the shot away. There's not a lot of room inside Albania's penalty area. Half of their defence converging upon England's captain there. Close to A, both getting his foot to the ball to get a shot away, and B, to ending up on the deck as the challenge came in. Here's Jones. Now Konsa. England with such a good record in World Cup qualifiers, particularly in the modern era. They haven't lost a World Cup qualifier since October 2009. 16 years ago, beaten 1-0 by Ukraine in Dnipro. Some run, unbeaten in the last 31 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. They won 23 of those 31 games as well. Starting off this World Cup qualification campaign with 2 matches at home, with Latvia in town on Monday. Rashford going long. Foden scampering after it, and Asllani getting there first. Well, almost the first chance of the evening for Harry Kane. Another excellent season for him so far, 32 goals for Bayern Munich. Robert Lewandowski of Barcelona, the only player in Europe's top 5 leagues to have scored more goals than he so far this season. Room for Dan Burn. Bellingham. Turning away from Azuni, lovely ball in. Miles Lewis-Skelly! It's a dream debut for the 18-year-old! The first goal of the Thomas Tuchel era, the first goal of England's World Cup qualification campaign, is scored by the 18-year-old from Arsenal. He's only ever scored once for his club side. That was against Manchester City at the start of February. But he's got one for his country here, and he looks onside as he starts to make the run. Lovely finish through the legs of Thomas Strakosha. And what a wonderful moment there for the debutant, Miles Lewis-Skelly. It is England 1, Albania 0. New manager's faith repaid, and then some. Well, that's got the crowd chatting in the stands. England with so much possession and their very first attempt on goal. And you think of all the attacking talent on display, and the debutant popping up from left back to show everybody how it's done with a lovely finish. And here he is once more, the man of the moment, Lewis-Skelly into Rice and Kane, Burn, collected by Konsa. England still hovering around the 87% mark, but in terms of possession, but they have done something with it now with that goal. Here's Foden. Jones wins the throw. Konsa seeing plenty of the ball in the opening 20 minutes. Rashford. The referee had a little think about it before blowing the whistle. Alejandro Hernandez from Spain. Just a little clip there on Ivan Balju. Marcus Rashford challenging for the ball. Rashford revitalised in the West Midlands with that loan spell at Aston Villa so far. 9 appearances for Villa, often off the bench. Balju now in possession, based in Spain with Rayo Vallecano. You're familiar with Jude Bellingham, as Burn gives Jordan Pickford a rare touch of the ball. Quarter of the way through the match, halfway through the opening half. Advantage England. Lewis Skelly back into Rice. He's scored a couple of goals himself recently for Arsenal, and a 1-1 draw with Manchester United at Old Trafford. Also got a goal in the Champions League against PSV. Arsenal into the quarter-finals. Should be a cracking tie as well against Jude Bellingham's Real Madrid. Ezri Konsa, another man who's got a Champions League quarter-final to look forward to with Villa against PSG. Both he and Marcus Rashford. Jones, Konsa. Now Rashford. Here's Kyle Walker. And Bellingham. Tidy and patient for England. Konsa there doing well to retain possession under pressure from Torazuni. Albania keeping their shape and their concentration, limiting England's attacking opportunity in the game so far, and maybe looking to break themselves, as with Balyu tracking back there by Rashford, not quite coming off, collected by Hassani. Kane's in there to win it back for England. And Kane away from Lachi. Walker trying to get forward on the far side. That's a decent looking ball into Marcus Rashford. Rashford unable to get on the end of that one, difficult to deal with, but promising signs in the opening 25 minutes on the England left between Rashford and Bellingham and Lewis Skelly. Foul by Curtis Jones. Albania quick to get on with the game. Azuni has it, support coming from Ivan Balyu. Chazim Lachi across, Dan Byrne cuts it out, pressure on Jordan Pickford's goal, headed away by Byrne. A rare little flurry of activity near England's goal. We haven't seen that so far in the game up to now. Squirting awkwardly up in the air off Byrne's boot, but then he was there to tidy up. Bouncing off the angle of post and crossbar. Here's the Inter midfielder Christian Aslani with this corner kick, first of the night for Albania. And Kane is back to head away. Aslani. Bellingham beaten in the air, Byrne with a header down. Byrne able to make the block there. Shot coming in. And more pressure on the England defence all of a sudden. Kane back to help his defensive colleagues. Effort there from Alin Dayeti, who was hopefully claiming for a handball. is Miles Lewis Skelly, who at 18 years and 176 days is the youngest player ever to score on his senior England debut. What a moment for him. A little bit of history there for the national team. And great to see Stuart Pearce, former England international, back at work after a recent health scare on a return flight from North America. Curtis Jones, almost half an hour in at Wembley. Value safely seeing that one behind. Got a couple of injured players at the moment, Albania, but a reasonably settled look in terms of most of those involved tonight. Certainly experienced players. Strakosha, a regular in goal as well, 38th cap for him. Started every match since last summer. Forward by Murto Azuni, player who's just made the move to the MLS, to Austin from Granada, playing in the second tier in Spain. 14 goals in 18 matches in the second tier before making the move this season. So, still settling in, only 3 appearances for his new club so far. Dan Burn, 2 debutants at the back for England, Burn and Lewis Skelly. Ayeti just nipping in to win it back. Ball forward by Lachi into Alind Ayeti. Tracking back was Declan Rice. Able to get the ball into the England penalty area. It's cleared by Konsa. Ayeti has it. He's got some support behind him if he needs it. Balliu, though, racing forward. Well one back. I thought well one back by Sani, but he's been penalised. A yellow card. Jim City leading the complaints on behalf of his team. So Albania's captain has his name taken there. Get the game underway once more via Esri Konsa, away to Walker. Walker, a little bit loose there from Kyle Walker. No pressure on Konsa. Byrne, nice ball into Bellingham, who picks out Rashford. Promising for England down the near side. Lovely pass into Jude Bellingham. Nearly the finish. One back by Rashford. The block shot from Kane. And England knocking on Albania's door rather loudly there in pursuit of a second goal. Strakosha denying Bellingham. And Asllani in the right place to clear before Rashford could get to the rebound. Curtis Jones was in there really quickly initially to win it back. Just the one booking in this first half so far. The Gym City one was presumably for something he said to the referee. But he will have to tread carefully now for the rest of the match. Konsa sending it forward into Bellingham, who tries to just bulldoze his way through, unable to do so on this occasion. In by Rami trying to send it back, and Ali dispossessed. Kane into Foden. Here's Bellingham. Just so many Albanian defenders packing the edge of their own penalty area there. Asllani with a little nudge forward, and a chance now for Silvinho's side to advance. Jasir Asani. Just asking a little bit too much of Uzuni in the middle. Walker looking for the run that had been made by Rashford. Yeti away to Gym City. Asllani is back deep. Here he is. Now sent forward by Lachi, but he couldn't quite keep the ball in play. These two meet again in the final match day of the group. It's on the 16th of November. We'll meet again in Tirana. Byrne. Albania happy to just dig in for the most part. Make themselves tough to break down, and they're certainly doing that. Jones, now Foden. Rashford looking to try and open things up. No joy for him on this occasion, and good play there by Asani, who's able to carry the ball a reasonable distance too. Asllani under real pressure. Back into Nasser Ali. Ramadani, Ayeti. It's Albania's throw. Decent little sequence of passes from the visiting side. These two nations drawn together in the last World Cup qualification phase as well, and England won the group. Albania finished third in the group in the last World Cup qualification. They had 6 wins and 4 defeats from the 10 matches they played, so pretty decent record. Finishing behind England and Poland. They were 2 points behind Poland, who was second, but they finished above Hungary, Andorra and San Marino. Walker. Rice being forced away by Ali. This is Byrne. And Declan Rice, England trying to prise open the Albanian defence, in by Walker, in towards Bellingham, the save, and then the deflection by Jim City over the bar from Kane. England bursting into attacking life here. Bellingham's brave header almost made it to the block by Strakosha's shin. Kane there, denied by the outstretched leg of Albania's captain, Berat Jimsiti. A double defensive block. Plenty for referee Hernandez to keep his eye on here, as ever. In from Rice, hangs in the air, as does Dan Byrne. It's going to be another corner. Surely he's not going to add to his fairy tale week with another goal at Wembley. Wouldn't that be a story? Comes once more, Byrne with the header, Strakosha with the save. England applying late first half pressure, and Byrne towering above everybody else, so close to scoring on his England debut here. Be third time lucky from this latest corner. Byrne again getting up well, cleared by Chazim Lachi. Miles Lewis-Skelly finds his header intercepted. Foden's back trying to help out, and Kyle Walker gets there first. How many times have we said that over the years? Ahead of Nedim Bayrami this time. Really unlucky with that double effort of just 2 or 3 minutes ago. The header from Bellingham and then the effort from Kane. Brilliant block by Jim City on the follow-up. Superb defending. Lachi for Albania. Nicely done. Good play into Ilber Ramadani. Bit of space for Balyu. And now with Asani. Aslani. There's the captain, Jim Cities. Such an experienced player. Nearly 215 matches in Serie A for him. Real mainstay for Atalanta under Gasparini. Lacci. Good ball, collected by Asani. This looks promising for Albania. There's Curtis Jones coming back and challenging. And Asani in no uncertain terms, telling the referee that he really thinks he should have a free kick. And as you can see, that the manner of his protest hasn't gone down terribly well with our Spanish referee. Dan Burn was so close to scoring late in the half with that header. Last 30 seconds of the opening 45 minutes, England in control of the match. Just the one goal to show for that control against a very well-organised Albanian team. There goes the half-time whistle. No additional time at the end of the first half, and Miles Lewis Skelly scoring on his England debut, the youngest ever player to do so on his debut for the national team. His strike separates the two sides at half-time. Jude Bellingham with a header saved by Strakosha. Harry Kane on the follow-up thought that he was going to score. Jim City had other ideas. England controlling the match, and they lead at the break. England 1, Albania 0. So far, so good then for Thomas Tuchel on the touchline as England's head coach for the first time tonight. Miles Lewis-Skelly with the only goal we've seen so far at 18 years and 176 days, the youngest player ever to score on his senior England debut. Just waiting to see whether the new England head coach is choosing to make any changes at the start of the second half as the players come out into the Wembley drizzle. That previous youngest debutant scorer was actually Marcus Rashford. He was 18 years and 209 days when he scored against Australia 9 years ago. Doriva and Pablo Zabaleta, two assistants there to Silvinho. So with Zabaleta, was formerly with Manchester City and West Ham, and Silvinho with Arsenal and Manchester City. Plenty of Premier League experience and plenty of time spent in England as well for the pair of them, now in charge of the Albanian national team. Jude Bellingham gets us underway. No changes made at the interval. Flag up on the far side already. Free kick for England. Dan Burn, who was so close to scoring a debut goal as well late in the first half. There's Kyle Walker, winning his 94th cap for England today. Walker, 34 years of age now. And takes the pass from Phil Foden. This is Konsa, and now Burn. Rashford. Just over 4 years ago that Thomas Tuchel first really experienced English football when he came in at Chelsea. Had considerable success at Stamford Bridge during his time there. Absolutely loved it as well, including winning the Champions League. Burn there with a high boot. Clearly clouting Mieto Ozuni in the process. Players got a little bit of blood there been drawn. I think they just need to tidy that up. But Albania with an opportunity perhaps to apply a little pressure here, and both central defenders are up, the captain Jim Siti and Ayeti, and it comes from Christian Aslani, just a little too high for Ayeti. Possession kept though by Bayrami. Nedim Bayrami, dangerous away from Burn, scuff shot from Lachi. Burns there again to get the ball clear. And away comes Marcus Rashford, looking for Foden, who gets the better of Ali. White-shirted support arrives at great speed. It was Kane trying to bring it under control. Looked like a slip rather than a foul. Back with Phil Foden. Albania with a man down, and Curtis Jones just holding play up. Referee's going to check on the injured player. It's Aslani. Yeah, it was a slip. the 23-year-old with Inter, 7 appearances in the Champions League this season. He scored the goal that secured a 1-0 win away to Georgia back in October in the Nations League. Byrne. Rashford back into Rice. Miles Skelly getting well forward and happy to stay well forward for much of the time in the opening 3 or 4 minutes of the second half. Interception made by Ramadani. Bellingham given the slip. Miles Skelly not so. Back with Byrne. Time in the world with the ball at his feet. It's Miles Lewis-Skelly in a slightly more central position there, just bundled to the ground. Getting a bit tangled up with Ilber Ramadani, one of the Italian-based contingent in the Albanian squad. He's with Lecce. Although note that he's mostly been on the bench in recent weeks for them. Certainly a regular for Albania, started all 3 of their games at the Euro last summer. Phil Foden to take this one. Whipped in towards Ezri Konsa, who got up well. Byrne chasing after it. Nice bit of skill by Nedim Bayrami, brilliantly done. And well received by the several thousand Albanian fans inside Wembley Stadium as they look to put some pressure on England's goal, but Ezri Konsa was there in position waiting for them. And it's collected by Walker and Bellingham. Rashford was impeded there, I think, by Bellew. Bellew says no, referee agrees with him. Certainly was a coming together between the 2 players. Thomas Tuchel arguing about it as well with the 4th official. Aslani, Jimshiti, Ali. Aslani turned into trouble, but he had the strength to keep hold of the ball despite the close attentions of Jones. This is Arlin Nayeti sending it back in, and Jim City away, a little bit pressured. And then reclaimed possession via the throw. City back in Albania's squad for this match. He's had various ailments that have kept him out of the international team during the current season. This is Ezri Konsa, Curtis Jones. Bellingham well forward here. Foden. Bellingham looking to prize them open, the ball into Foden. By Rami and Aslani forward. It's going to be a long old chase for Uzuni, and there was only going to be one winner there, and that's Kyle Walker. Lewis Miles Skelly was just making a darting run deep inside the Albanian half. Blackburn. Here's Bellingham, by the way, winning his 41st England cap this evening. Most ever by a player aged 21 or younger. Wayne Rooney won 40 caps at that stage of his career. Here comes Kyle Walker, pulled back by the referee. Teddy Sheringham and Dion Dublin, the watching on. In the packed Wembley crowd. Everyone here to see the start of this World Cup qualification campaign, and of course the first match for the new head coach. Tuchel there applauding the efforts of his team of Rashford to get back at his opponent quickly. Alindayeti here for Albania. City. This is Nasser Ali. Not much room for Ramadani, and taken off his toes by Walker, but it had gone out of play. Here's Rashford up against Ballieu, trying to bring Miles Skelly into the game. Ramadani was deep inside his own half, challenged there by Rashford. The referee had a little think about it. He was trying to play an advantage and then brings the game back. Rashford acknowledging the challenge as soon as he'd made it there, as he tried to get there ahead of Ramadani, who just beat him to it, but there was, well, as you can see there, barely any contact at all. Ramadani gets the free kick nonetheless. Albanian fans in great spirits. And at 1-0, of course, their team still very much in the game. Here's Concept. He's looked assured as he brings it forward. Can't quite bring Foden into the play this time. Skelly getting on his bike, but Rice not close to finding him, his Arsenal colleague. A quiet start to the second half. Ballieu's throw. Lewis Skelly. Referee plays the advantage. Bellingham sending it through. Rashford's got Kane up alongside him. Marcus Rashford here. Great defending by Alindayeti. Super play though from Bellingham to win it back. In towards Kane. Well, just at the moment that it appeared the opportunity was lost, suddenly Bellingham picked up the loose pieces inside the penalty area. And Harry Kane flashing a header wide of the post. And a delightfully flighted ball from Bellingham. Header on by Uzuni. And away from Dan Burn, and then Walker. Albania yet to have an attempt officially classified as being on target. Lachi's done well. It's collected by Uzuni. And Miles Lewis-Skelly is there to collect for England and to turn the tables on Albania. And here now is Kane, and it's with Curtis Jones. And in the end, it was one pass too many. And Albania have had the chance to get themselves organised behind the ball. Heading for the last half an hour at Wembley. Still a one-goal game. Rashford. To Lewis-Skelly, and now Bellingham whipping it in. It was Curtis Jones furthest forward there for England. Walker into Kane, who picks out Jones. Working so hard, and they're not in possession of the ball to close down potential England avenues. Konsa, here's Kane. Foden darts. Jones is there, just bounces in behind Phil Foden. Bided their time in the build-up, and then almost able to create a goal-scoring opportunity. Just wonder whether Thomas Tuchel's thinking of maybe making a change or two just to try and freshen things up a little bit here. A quiet phase of the game. Armando Broja is going to come on for Albania. I haven't seen much of him. He plays in England. He's on loan at Everton from Chelsea this season, but he's been injured for most of the season. Came off the bench last week against West Ham for the last 10 minutes and set to come on here now. Here's Aslani. Sending it into Bayrami, back into Chazimlachi. Ivan Balju. Potentially awkward one there for Konsa, but he was very, very composed in dealing with it. Bellingham. And now Rashford with a chance to run at Ivan Balju, which he loves to do, and Balju stands his ground well. A discussion there on the touchline, presumably of options available to England for the final half an hour. And Broja going to come on to replace Nedim Bayrami. So Broja, who made 2 appearances at last summer's Euro and has been injured since, hasn't appeared for Albania since then. Comes on, he's had Achilles and ankle issues this season, but the visiting fans delighted to see him out there. First change made by coach Silvinho. Remained a quiet night for Jordan Pickford so far. Started every match this season for England since last summer's Euro, bar one. Dean Henderson in goal against Finland in Helsinki in the Nations League. 4 goalkeepers in the squad today. Henderson, James Trafford and Pickford. Aaron Ramsdale, one of those left out of the matchday squad, the 26-man squad, having to go down to 23. Aaron Ramsdale, Jarrell Quansah and Morgan Gibbs-White, the 3 players left out of the matchday 23 by Thomas Tuchel. Just over 25 minutes remaining at Wembley. And it's with Curtis Jones of Liverpool. Albania content to sit back and soak it up and then look to counter. First touch for Breuer. Lacci losing out to Lewis Skelly. Good play from Miles Lewis Skelly, who finds Jude Bellingham. And Alim Dayeti is there for Albania to bring it away. And find a teammate too in the shape of Jasir Hassani. Breuer up against Byrne. And it's Albania's ball. And he's got a physical presence, hasn't he, Breuer, and he'll need it up against Byrne. And he's showing it again. Breuer's done really well here for Albania and almost all the way through to an opportunity, but he's ruffling England feathers. Jude Bellingham. Foden being watched very closely there by Nasser Ali. Rashford. Sort of game so far to when the sides last met here in November of 2021. 5-0 romp for England with a Harry Kane hat-trick that night. Here's Rashford. Ayeti was there. Breuer's touch away to the far side. Ballieu. Anthony Gordon and Jared Bowen getting ready to come on for England here. First couple of changes about to be made by Thomas Tuchel. Midway through the second half, Armando Breuer putting pressure on Ezri Konsa, who stands his ground. Bellingham just knew that the whistle was going to blow there. Final instructions coming from England's head coach. Those changes at the next available opportunity in the next couple of minutes as Ayeti sends it away. Up towards Breuer, brilliantly done away from Dan Byrne. Albania threatening here, the pass not quite good enough to pick out Hassani in the middle, and Kyle Walker was there. England under a bit of pressure. And Armando Breuer has made a difference in the short time he's been on the pitch. Jones finds Bellingham, now it's Rashford, who might not be on the field for too much longer, with Anthony Gordon waiting to come on. Konsa. Just over 20 minutes remaining. Still just the one goal in the match. Bellingham. Here's Marcus Rashford trying to get away from Ramadani. Now it's Lewis Skelly. Jones. Lewis Skelly into Kane. There's just no room. Surrounded. Rice. Here's Foden. Lewis Skelly floating it in towards Bellingham, and Strakosha just couldn't hang on to it. Bellingham. Rice. Curtis Jones. Block made by Jim City. Rice collects it once more for England as they search for that second goal. Time for Kyle Walker to consider what he wants to do with the ball. Rice. Oh, Rashford moving into a more central position. Tidy turn from Bellingham. Good defending by Ayeti. This is Breuer. And now Balyu. Still plenty of time left in the match. Albania starting to play like a team that think they might be able to create an opportunity to get something here. And Breuer sent it on to Asani, up against Esri Konsa. Brilliant defending. Good play from Albania though. Konsa had to be at his best there. Got a bit of a tweak, I think, in the process in getting to the ball first, but got the job done. Suddenly, the last 5 minutes, a couple of times, England's lead has looked a little more precarious. Still nothing on target for Jordan Pickford to deal with in the England goal. But the hint of possibilities for Albania at Wembley. Remember, they've only scored one goal ever against England in 6 previous internationals before tonight. Rashford looking for the run of Rice, teeing it up. Bellingham gets the shot away. Jim City was there once more. Jones in towards Kane, who just gets there ahead of Strakosha, and Ayeti keeps his eye on the bouncing ball, and England are going to have a corner. So Marcus Rashford being replaced by Anthony Gordon. Phil Foden going off as well. Jared Bowen on for Phil Foden. And Morgan Rogers is on for Curtis Jones. There he is, Morgan Rogers. winning his third cap. Made his debut off the bench against Greece in November, and also came off the bench in the next game, which was the last match here before tonight against the Republic of Ireland. Thomas Strakosha there, just feeling a little something after his challenge with Harry Kane, perhaps. Heading towards the last 15 minutes. Well, he's made a bright start, hasn't he, Armando Broja? And here, a real test for Ezri Konsa. That was excellent defending, with Asani racing in. Strakosha clearly got a little bit of an issue here. The other two goalkeepers in the squad have got about three caps between them, Castrati and Sherry. Looks like he's going to be okay. Arba Hodja is going to come on for Albania shortly, as is Ardian Ismaili of Empoli in Italy, Hodja of Dinamo Zagreb. Another England corner, and you know the number 12 is going to try and get on the end of it, and it comes towards and beyond Byrne, and Bellingham at the far post. There's Miles Lewis-Skelly. Into Kyle Walker, who's happy to send it all the way to Jordan Pickford. It's Bellingham, and it's beautifully done, and Alin Dayeti is there as the Albanian defence stands firm. Lewis-Skelly collecting here. Dan Byrne. Here's Anthony Gordon just off the bench. Been a regular starter for England this season. Bowen. First touch for him, and into the play comes Kyle Walker. That's a decent looking pass as well. Rice across, collected by Kane. Tees it up for number 2. Pinpoint finish from England's captain and record goal scorer. Little bit of elbow room for Thomas Tuchel's team as we head into the latter stages of the game. Nicely created. He looks onside there as the pass comes in. Ayeti committed himself. Kane collected the ball. A moment to compose himself. And then the finish for 2-0. Harry Kane's 70th England goal. England looking good for the 3 points in this first World Cup qualifier on the road to next year's finals. The check is over, the goal is good, and Alejandro Hernandez is just hearing that, and away we go. 12 more minutes plus added time. Two changes have been made. Hodja is on. Payaziti has actually come on as well. The referee is going to check on Thomas Strakosha here, who needs some treatment again. And Strakosha was seen to by the medical team just a couple of minutes ago, but clearly in some distress there inside his penalty area. Former Lazio goalkeeper, now with Ike Athens, who started every match at the Euro last summer and all of their matches so far this season. There's a familiar face from over the years, getting ready to return to the pitch in an England shirt. Jordan Henderson's going to get a few minutes at the end of this game by the looks of things as well. Bellingham, such a handful. Lovely ball through, and Miles Lewis-Skelly with the finish for 1-0, the debut goal for the 18-year-old in the first half, and for so long it was the only goal until this moment here. Ayeti was committed, and suddenly at that moment there he knew the game was up. And despite the presence of Jim City, who again got himself between Kane and the goal, just as he did in the first half, this time Harry Kane found a way past Albania's captain. There's Jordan Henderson getting ready to come on shortly. They are going to have to make a change here for the last 10 minutes of the game. Let's hope there's not a major issue there for Thomas Strakosha. He was the goalkeeper when Albania last visited, and conceded 5 that day. And they're just going to have to make a late change here, which clearly, as you can tell from the fact the substitute goalkeeper hasn't got his boots on yet, that's something that he wasn't expecting. It's Elhan Castrati of Cittadella in Serie B in Italy. He's had a pretty good season, Castrati. Only a couple of international appearances before. Made his debut in June of 2022 against Estonia, had 45 minutes. Well, he's going to get about 10 minutes here against England at Wembley. He's had a good season, actually, Castrati. 8 clean sheets in 21 matches in Serie B. A late change being made by England. Declan Rice going off to be replaced by Jordan Henderson. Henderson, 82nd cap for him. His last appearance was against Malta in November 2023. This is the first time he's been in the England squad for a year, Henderson. He didn't play in March of last year, so it was that Malta game. So quite a long time, not quite 18 months, but it's been a while. Forward by Byrne into Bellingham. Gets the free kick, challenged by Liber Ramadani. Brought back into the squad by Thomas Tuchel, playing for Ajax these days. Jordan Henderson lost to Eintracht Frankfurt in the round of 16 in the Europa League this month. He was one of the scorers actually against Albania the last time they were in town. Henderson in from Bowen. It was Esri Konsa up in the penalty area trying to get his head on the end of it. And it doesn't roll kindly for Arba Hoxha, one of the substitutes for Albania, just on the pitch. Arba Hoxha, another one who's been playing in the Champions League this season with Dinamo Zagreb. Morgan Rogers. What a season he's having with Aston Villa, Morgan Rogers. A hat-trick in the Champions League against Celtic. dozen goals for his club side and 3 caps now for England, and 22-year-old. Walker into Henderson. 2 of the older heads combining well. Still trying to find Jared Bowen. Collected by Henderson once more. Miles Lewis Skelly. This is Konsa. Very assured tonight at the heart of England's defence, Ezri Konsa. Ali. Here's Henderson, who's taken long to get on the ball since his arrival. Bowen back with Henderson again. Rodgers concedes the free kick. Inside the last 5 minutes of this opening World Cup qualifier. Both teams in action on Monday. England at home to Latvia. Albania at home as well. They're taking on Andorra. So they'll be very keen to try and get some points on the board in that one. Serbia, the other team in the group. Value forward. Well, Miles Lewis Skelly was quite literally trying to get to grips with Armando Broja there. Nazlani sending it forward. That's pretty straightforward there for Konsa. Walker and Rodgers. Tracking Bellingham there, followed him an awfully long way into the England half of the field, and Konsa calm under pressure. Here's Walker and now Bowen. England looking as though they're going to be getting the job done with perhaps not the opportunity to read too much into this first game of the Tuchel era. England set to claim the 3 points. Konsa. Now Rodgers into Bowen. Morgan Rodgers available near side. Henderson. Bowen up against Ali. They're doubling up on him, but Bowen's still going. Hodja. Only as far as Jude Bellingham. Well, England dominating all the way towards the final whistle. They've had over 70% of the play. 11 attempts on goal from tonight's hosts, 4 attempts on target. Their opportunities have been limited by the stubbornness of Albania, who haven't had a shot on target in the match. Here's Konsa, and will certainly face bigger tests than this during Thomas Tuchel's tenure. Had a free kick as well there for the challenge on Esrik Konsa. Well, what a night for him. Miles Lewis Skelly, a night he'll remember for the rest of his life. Wonderful stuff. An England debut at 18 and a goal as well. England's youngest ever scoring debutant. And Reece James on for him for the little that remains. It's good to see Reece James fitting on the pitch recently as well. A number of injury issues that he's had. Here comes Anthony Gordon though. England applying some very late pressure here as we begin added time. The possession kept there by Payaziti. Droya. Value. He's got Ayeti alongside him. Payaziti, one of the substitutes. Christian Aslani. This is Nasser Ali. Now Berat Jimsiti. Sturdy challenge made there, and a painful moment for Anthony Gordon. Well, it's going to be a winning start for Thomas Tuchel in his role as England's head coach. His team getting the job done on his opening night. Ayeti for Albania, who kept themselves in the game for a long time without really being able to test Jordan Pickford. Dan Burns underneath this one, and Pickford quickly out of his penalty area. It's been a very quiet night for him. Bowen goes for it. It's collected by Bellingham, and the flag goes up. Sir Geoff Hurst there in the middle of the picture, watching on. Well, next summer it'll be 60 years since England won the World Cup. Droya sending it back in. Value trying to get well forward. Anthony Gordon's there. Who had to sit out the Carabao Cup final on this pitch the other day, having been suspended following a red card in the FA Cup. Headed away by James. And here's Konsa. Last 90 seconds or so of this opening World Cup qualifier. As Konsa finds Anthony Gordon, who sends it forward into Bellingham. Morgan Rogers up in the box. Jared Bowen arriving as well. Bellingham leading Ramadani in merry darts. And England about to extend their unbeaten run in World Cup qualification matches to An ongoing European best of 32 matches. Scotland will have won 24 of those 32 games with 8 draws. It's quite an extraordinary record. England have only lost 3 World Cup qualifiers since the turn of the century. Here's Morgan Rogers. Last few seconds of the match, maybe time for one last attack, should England feel inclined. Here's Anthony Gordon, Rogers and Kane are up there. Bellingham nearby. Armando Broja with a chance to bring it away for Albania. There's an untidy foul there by Anthony Gordon. He seems to have got an upper right thigh injury. It's a winning start for England under new head coach Thomas Tuchel. They're up and running on the road to the USA. And Miles Lewis-Skelly celebrated his debut at 18 by scoring in the first half, and who else but Harry Kane, England's record goal scorer, added the second. With over 10 minutes to go, just to seal the deal and ease any potential late nerves. A match that England dominated. They've got the job done. Armando Broja came off the bench and ruffled a few feathers for 5 minutes on his arrival, but England weathered that small squall and secured the 3 points. A winning start for Thomas Tuchel. It's finished at Wembley. England 2, Albania 0.